take on chapter 10, which talks about. Today we are taking on chapter 10, which is all about communication, and it says communication is not about speaking, it's about listening. I will start by giving us a brief meaning of communication. Communication is a process of exchange of ideas, information between individuals, group, or organizations. And this could be verbal communication, non-verbal communication, or written communication. For effective communication to take place, we must have clear expression, active listening, and a feedback. Active listening here means fully concentrating on and understanding the message being passed on. This our chapter deals with communication, which is all about listening. Therefore, we see how some symbols will signify communications. When we go through this chapter, we'll see that communication can go with the use of symbols. We are therefore going to look at some of those symbols, and we should take note of the fact that here we are talking about branding. Branding in particular. How do we showcase ourselves, our products, the things we do, what we say, and how we do those things? And in this chapter, they talk about so many symbols that we can use as a means of communication. When we look at the chapter, the first symbol they give to us is that of reinforcing an idea. And the symbol that is used here is a symbol of freedom. We see Martin Luther King, the man who became a symbol of the entire civil rights movement in America. He decided to deliver his famous speech, "I have a dream," in front of another symbol, that of Lincoln, the memorial, which is a symbol of the American value of freedom for all. We know, all of us here, or some of us will know, that Martin Luther King Jr. was a prominent leader in the American civil rights movement. He advocated for racial equality and social justice through non-violent means. He thus was a freedom fighter. He therefore used the Lincoln Memorial site as that important symbol that will help in reinforcing what he was saying, that is the freedom he was preaching about. Most great societies, as we see, know the importance of symbols, as symbols help in reinforcing values and the beliefs we have. Symbols, as we see, they make tangible that which is intangible. They speak the unspeakable, all because in symbols, meaning is being inculcated. That meaning that is being inculcated in the symbols lives in the minds of those who see the symbols, not in the items itself. Therefore, whatever symbol you are using should have meaning, should tell people about something. When they look at it, just looking at that symbol, it tells you something. I would just want to give a simple example of a symbol that was used in the days of old by our forefathers. We know the throne of the king was the paramount king or paramount of every other thing. And since we do not have means of communications, when the king wanted to tell his people something, they always asked that a drum be used. They used drumming method. Became that drumming became a symbol. That time people heard of that drum being sound, they knew that what that the king wanted them, and all of them would gather at the palace to listen, to hear what the king was to say. Am I making sense here? Are you people getting me? Let me have a yes from somebody, please.
Yes, yes. Yes, Auntie Mercy, we're getting you.
Yes, yes, we can get you. We're getting you very well.
Okay. And I hope I'm making
a lot of sense.
You're making a lot of sense. Thank you.
Hello? I guess we lost Auntie Mercy. Network. Auntie Mercy, we can't hear you. Can you type in the chat box if you can hear us? She was knocked out, I guess.
Solange, are you getting me?
Yes, I can hear you.
The network keeps kicking me out, so we have to be patient a bit. When it takes me out, I have to come back again.
All right. Thank you for
So
your
I was
persistence.
saying that symbols are some conventional signs used either in writing or in printing, and they relate to particular fields to represent either the operations of that field, the qualities or quantities of that field, and elements and relationships of that field. It can also, symbols are also acts or sounds or objects having cultural significance and the capacity to excite a response. When we talk of cultural significance, sound, I already talked about the drum. It was a sound that was used. And you see that it had the capacity to excite a response because the people will all gather at the Faun's palace to listen to what the Faun wanted to say. So there was a why behind it and a how, the way of doing it, and there was a response to that which was done. Therefore, for a symbol to be a symbol, you see that there must be a reason behind using it, how it is used, and the response that is given to it. Is it okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
So therefore, we are saying that it is only when the purpose, the cause, or the belief is clear that the symbol now commands great power. If a symbol is placed somewhere without a purpose, why is it? I believe that is clear to the people. When we look at our flags, the flags of each country are being infused with so much meaning. So much meaning. And each flag of each country portrays the values and the beliefs of that nation. Therefore, it becomes a national symbol. Let us take, for instance, I will not be talking out of our Cameroonian country. Want to do that we see that, okay.
It's good, Auntie Mercy.
So we see that our flag, the Cameroon flag, symbolizes something and it communicates a lot. Our Cameroon flag is a symbol of national pride, national unity, and it represents the rich history, cultural diversity, and aspiration of for progress of Cameroon. This can be seen in the various colors on that flag and even the star on the flag. Let us now look at the flag so that we understand how it has become a symbol. And the green color stands for the green forest and the natural resources of the southern part of Cameroon. This symbolizes what? The fertility, the hope, the agricultural wealth of Cameroon. It gives a lot of meaning. When you look at the flag and you immediately you see the green color, it tells you about fertility. It tells you about the agricultural wealth that Cameroon has. When we take the red color, it stands for the unity, the independence, the sovereignty. It also reflects the bloodshed that was sacrificed during the struggle for freedom. And you see that each time you look at the red color of the flag as a Cameroonian, so many things come into your mind. It will tell you, oh, we are united. It will tell you this is an independent country. It will over our tell you that before we got to this level, we fought for it. That is a symbol. Then you see the yellow. That stands for the natural beauty of the northern region of Cameroon. And it represents what? Happiness. It stands for prosperity. Take the flower. Just take the flowers. When the flowers are blooming, you see the yellow color comes out. When you see the yellow color comes out, especially with this word we call the March flower, the yellow, it tells you of what? Happiness. There's prospect of a bright future. So the yellow stands for happiness, for prosperity, and for a bright future. Then, when you look at the star, the yellow star in the middle tells you about what? It signifies the unity of the country. The vast cultural and geographical region. So all of this put together makes the flag to become what? A symbol. And therefore, for you to brand your good or to brand yourself, you should look at those things that will speak for itself, that when people see. Let's talk about a bit about Coach D. Coach D is a pastor. And being a pastor, she is a coach. She coaches women towards biblical importance of living marital life to the fullest as God's purpose is meant for it. But in a nightclub, she gathers women instead of talking about how they should live their life as per the Bible. She takes them into a nightclub and they start dancing worldly music. Is that a good brand? Will that speak well of her? I want to say no. Therefore, a symbol to tell people who you are and what you are and what you do and your beliefs and your beliefs. This now takes us to the fact that each symbol should represent something which is the why of the symbol. Something which is the why of the symbol. Why have I placed that symbol there? Take, for instance, I have a company and I just put a big symbol or a signpost somewhere directing people to that company. Yeah, there's a company. I don't say anything about the company, the goods that that company produces, the people that work there, the things you need to see when you get to that company. It becomes vague. It is no longer a symbol, it's just a signpost. A symbol should have meaning. I, for one, I do liquid pepper. And I have this pepper has a particular brand. In branding my pepper, I have a logo. On that logo, you will see the green, the red, and the yellow pepper. You will see the red color, you will see the yellow color, and then you will see there written clearly, oil pepper. And then on it, it is written hot and spicy. I am now branding my pepper. That logo tells people a lot about it. People see that this pepper is made out of either green, red, or yellow pepper. There is oil in it to preserve. And the green color there tells you that it is fresh pepper. When you see it, you know that it is fresh. The red there tells you that it is hot. Because when we talk of danger, you see hot, you understand? When something is red, it's just hey, there's danger somewhere here. So when you see that red on that logo, you say, this can be very hot too. And then when you see the letterpress there that tells you about oil pepper, you know that there is oil in it. And when they say it is kitchen dash hot and juicy or hot and spicy, it now gives you that appetite. It entices you. So a logo, you in branding yourself or your company or your goods should be enticing in such a way that when somebody goes through that logo, that becomes your symbol, it should attract that person to that article, to that good, to that person you are talking about. Do I make sense here? Is it clear?
Yes, Auntie Mercy. It's very clear. Thank you.
Okay.
No, I just said we can hear and understand you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you see that each symbol should have some things out to show the thing you want to show. If not, it is not. And you will see that not all logos are symbols, because most companies don't know how to produce logos that become symbol. And for a logo to be a symbol, I will tell you that that logo, that logo should be well designed, for it is a company's brand, the company's identity, and therefore can convey various messages to whoever sees that logo, such as the brand value, the mission, or the personality. It should also be able to come out with products or services that that company is offering. It should be able to come out either with the quality or the professionalism or expertise of that company. And when all these are seen on the logo, it becomes what? A symbol. But most companies put out logos that are not symbol because they don't communicate, they don't speak. They remain as not symbols. In branding, what I got from the lesson or from this chapter is that when you want to brand something, it should come, it should speak, it should communicate. It should be that symbol that makes people think twice. All through they have been using the Apple company, the Apple shop, the Apple this. Yes, the Apple stands out in America because of its consistency, its visibility, and it is always consistent. It shows, how do I put it? They keep on changing, upgrading. If you have a logo or a symbol that makes people to think that that thing is outdated, people will not get to it. So in branding, we have to make sure we keep on upgrading. And that is why for us to upgrade, we always have to attend conference, grade on our goods and our products. At times, I've been talking a lot about symbols. Let me just calm down a bit because somebody might be thinking, what are these symbols that Madam Mercy is talking about? Symbols are those icons that can be used to represent abstract or ideas or concepts. They are those things, when you talk of symbolism, they are icons on logos that can be used to represent ideas or concepts that don't speak, but you see them, they remain in your mind. You see an icon, for instance, logo, you see two children, maybe holding hands, and then you see them marching towards somebody that is giving food. What does that tell you? That is service being done. When you look at that logo, it symbolizes something. It is help, and they are going towards somebody there ready to help them, giving them something. So those are icons on logos that can be used to represent abstract ideas or concepts. When we look at the colors on every symbol, colors are there to evoke what emotions and specific messages. Guinness brand has a particular color that runs throughout all the black color. And you see that black is all over its logo. Wherever, be it an advert on the TV, be it on the signpost or wherever, you will always see that black there. It speaks for itself. It tells you that the product you are going to collect from that place will have a black color. If it's a Guinness drink, okay, you just know that I'm going to consume a drink that is black in color. And then when you look at some letterpress printing on logos, they convey sense of modernity, tradition, or playfulness. Those are the things that when you see on logos, they tell you that this is a symbol for something. If you have, for instance, let's say the letterpress printing on an invitation card for a traditional wedding. Immediately you take that invitation card, the letterpress printing tells you immediately that, this is a traditional wedding. This is a civil wedding. This is a church wedding. So those things placed on a logo brings out the symbol and changes that logo into a symbol. Therefore, we are saying that since I already mentioned that not all logos are symbols, a well-designed logo will build the brand recognition, and this will make customers to recognize and remember that brand. It will also help when you produce your logo, you design it well, it becomes a symbol that differentiates your brand from other brands. It will help your brand to stand out from competitors, and it can create what? Emotional attachment or connection. Therefore, in branding, logos or symbols that we use should communicate values. It should give message about the personality or the company we are talking about. I already talked about the kitchen dash that I produced. We have the red color, we have the yellow color, and if you see the red color, you will see that the red stands for the red pepper, that is for the color of the pepper that you have. And everything printed on that logo speaks for itself. When you look at it, you have the appetite. The general idea about this chapter is that people or companies should always try to be seen positively. Somewhere in the chapter, they talk about authoritarian leaders. They are those leaders that, in as much as they know the importance of symbol, they forget about others. They think about themselves. So each symbol they want to put out there should be about me, I, and myself, no other person. But a company that wants to stand out will bring out symbols that will bring back feedback. Because if you have a symbol there put out and you don't see, you are selling rice, you have your signpost. People don't come when they pass and look at that signpost and they don't come to ask you about the rice. It means that your signpost is not, it is not brandishing you or your business. Symbols like the logo should represent values or ideas that moves people and inspire people to support you. The whole idea about the chapter again is that symbols should be clearly symbols should clearly indicate the values and the missions of the company. Now we go back to the Apple logo. When we look at the Apple logo, it represents what? Innovation. They're always innovating. As we speak, I'm using iPhone 11. But out there, we already have iPhone 12, 14, 15, 17. So they are innovating, they're changing, they are upgrading. It is simple. You see their simplicity and their discipline. When we talk of discipline, is the why are we out here? We are here for business. What type of business? Phone, Apple business. And how do we do it? We move from one stage to the other in a simple way that our customers understand us. That is Apple. And that is why up to today, Apple stands out. In spite of competitors and all whatnot, it stands out because it is innovative, it is simple, and it gains discipline. The company is disciplined. Then they are consistent. What they do one and the same thing, but upgrading that thing from one level to the other. And what I want to say here is that when you have a symbol, that symbol that you are using to brandish yourself, it should be consistent in across all the platforms. Let's take the Guinness or the Coca-Cola. Their iconic logos don't change. Coca-Cola icons all over the world are the same. And you will see that with this, they are recognized all over the world. Immediately, this brand is shown somewhere. If you're in America and you see Coca-Cola, immediately you know, oh, this is Coca-Cola. When you come back to Cameroon, you see Coca-Cola, oh, this is Coca-Cola. It is because the symbol is the same, their logo remains the same. They use it for all their purposes, be it advertisement on the TV, be it on radio, or in other companies where they do speak, their logos and their symbols are the same. And at this level, I would like to give us some examples of some symbols. That's something that we can always believe in. We've already talked about the Apple logo. We can believe in it. We have seen that it's innovative, it is simple, and their designs are excellent. Let us take the Dove logo. The Dove bathing soap, and you know it, right? Am I speaking to people?
Yes, Auntie Mercy, we know it.
So you're listening.
Oh, yes. Okay. When we take the Dove logo, you look at it, it embodies what? The idea of beauty. You see self-acceptance. You see empowerment. Each time that advertisement for the Dove soap comes out on TV, the first thing I see is beauty. I see self-acceptance. Yes, this is me. I love myself because I'm using Dove. And it gives you some empowerment because of the freshness that you get from it. Those are symbols that have been there out there for long, and we can believe in them because we see them and they have never changed. Look at the Red Cross logo. The Red Cross logo represents humanitarian aid, protection, and assistance in times of crisis. Each time, wherever you go to, all over the world, the Red Cross logo stands out. It is a symbol of humanitarian aid. It tells you of protection and assistance. And therefore, it tells you that each time you see somebody with a Red Cross dress, you can easily run to that person if you have a problem or you're in crisis. Hello?
Yes, Auntie Mercy, we can hear you.
Hello? At
We
this
can hear
level,
you.
do I have questions? Yes, do I have questions? Any more?
Maybe at the end, are you done yet?
Not yet. Let me just finish before I give over to Daisy to continue.
Okay.
We will see that we have been talking about logos or symbols and symbols. Some of the logos or the symbols that we have out there, they identify beliefs. And truth be told, our beliefs also make us who we are. And therefore, in brandishing, you have to believe in who you are and what you are doing. And therefore, some of the logos we have there will either symbolize or identify beliefs or other things that concerns what we are doing. We should note that companies or those of us that are brandishing ourselves, that want to be seen, want to be noticed, want to be heard, we don't decide what our symbols mean. It is the marketplace that decide what our symbols stand for. What do I mean by this? I am saying that if I brandish myself as a coach, my marketplace is the people that will come for me for coaching. The people that will come for me for coaching. If they're there, my symbols don't mean this advice. Oh, coach, this, then the symbols are now speaking. I am having what? A feedback to show that the symbols I placed out there are word. If after the logos and everything, the symbols on it, people don't buy, I place it in the market and people don't even look at it. They don't ask even here. It means that my market is telling me that I'm not. So companies will never decide the people you us decide to us what our symbols mean. Pick. Do they come? And lastly, I will say that in brandishing, in putting out symbols all out there, we should know that we brandish only what we do and what we say, which implies that by what they do and what they say. If you put your symbol out there, and on that symbol it says you are producing pepper, and people come, they don't see pepper, and they come and see but maybe soap, it means it's not speaking, it is not doing what it is saying, and therefore your symbols will not work well. At this level, I would like to say something these the things we write on our logos, the adverts we make as per our logos. We should be careful not to use another logo and then we say something different. Because when you come out with your logo, just imagine we have the word has gone off. We have exhibition. I am going for my exhibitions, and each time we stand at our stands, our banners are there. Talk a lot about selling. But when we come to visit our stands, they expect us to make a that will talk about my liquid paper. My advert goes the other way around. It means that the symbol
the celery test. In the book, the author Simon Sinek talks about the celery test. Now, the metaphor, when we find our why, or sometimes is that want to like Human Elevate Conference to equip ourselves in one or now in tribes we can conferences and read books. But now what happens is usually that many informations and now in when you have gotten you need, so that's what the celery test talks a lot about. In the book itself, the example of and he needs different items. He needs different items and this and has to buy all of these items. But now what happens is after purchasing all of these items, nobody can actually specify what that person stands for. So this represents us. After we have gotten all the trainings, after we have gotten advice from different places and different people, how concerns us? How do we set up? There's usually a saying that you're I don't know, I've forgotten that phrase, but that says master of none, something of all, of known. So that's one of a why. But when we have a clarity of the why, it gives us strength. It makes us stand out. And it even helps us in our lifestyles because we are now able to filter that which we should be receiving and that which we should let go. Still in the book, the writer gives us an example of a parent who was trying to entertain the daughter. Now, this parent finds himself with 2 different CDs, one from Walt Disney and just another from a regular what they say, they do what they say, and what they do is exactly what they say. Despite their flaws, their consistency in their why make them stand out. So you find this parent going in for Walt Disney because he knows that Walt Disney is going to deliver to his child that which he believes in Walt Disney, because Walt Disney has been known to be consistent over the years. And the author goes further to make us understand that when we have a clarity of our why, it helps us. It helps we want to do. We will not just go in for any kind of job. Our jobs will have. We will take our jobs. We'll take on jobs that are aligned with our purpose or our whys. And one other important thing that the author says is and your consistent why, and you have people that believe and follow you because of your consistency, because of your clarity. What have given you the visionaire when maybe there's an issue? People that are following you, they have the belief system like you. So it will need maybe to have to be shaky because you have built people that have, or you have built with an executive or an administrator that's the same belief system like you. Now, still looking at the salary test, the author talks about someone who goes to the shop, like I earlier said, and buys different items. And you who is watching, because you have, for example, if you're trying to do a weight loss program and you go to the market, you get fruits, you get vegetables, you get cola or any drink. Now, somebody looking at you will be able to identify or what you're trying to do. But if you have to take away the soda or the Coca-Cola, people identify that this person working on good health in you, you have gained followers already. Or if that is an organization, then you have maybe had referrals. And this already begins a movement, or it helps you to have to have confidence in your journey, and it gives you strength for your. Now, on the others, the writer also talks about when in situations where you have violated the salary test. He gives an example here of the Volkswagen company that produces these cars from Germany. Now, this company was well known to produce cheap and affordable cars for its citizens, but in the long run, trying to gain market opportunities, trying to seize market opportunities. They wanted to they modified actually their brands and elevated the prices of their cars. And what happened was that despite the elevation of the upgrade of the cars, many people couldn't buy the Volkswagen cars again because it wasn't affordable. So what does this explain to us? It explains a situation where people or clients have already known what a company stands for, and they believe in what a company stands for. But now the company decides, or the company wants to gain market size, and the clarity of the why is no longer there, like for the Volkswagen company. So that's why it did that upgrade and increased the prices. But people couldn't purchase these cars again because they were unable to purchase the cars. And that caused the Volkswagen company to go back. I think they had to work on their why. They had to maintain what they used to produce before to be able to get back their clients. And when they did this, they maintained, when they did this and maintained their why, I think they gained back their customers. But they learned a lesson too on the importance of sticking to what they had originally begun. Now, what does this mean? It implies that when we have a why, there should be a clarity. When there is no clarity, or when our why is blur, it causes the people that are following us not to have, they start doubting, be it the organization, they start doubting, be it the leader, and now they can now move. But when your why is strong enough, what happens is, even if you have to take such innovations, like in the book where we have the Toyota has been known to have affordable cars too. But aside from that, Toyota also has cars for luxurious purposes. Now, those who desire to get cars, luxurious cars, go in for that which they can. And those who can't, maintain the Toyota cars. So it's all about what strategies that are used, but maintaining your why. So the writer goes forward to say at the end that when we are consistent with our why, when we have clarity of our why, and when we are able to select the things that will help on our path, on our journey of our why, it will keep us strong. But when there is no clarity, our why becomes blurry and causes our followers maybe to shift away from the dream. So that is what I had for this last section of chapter 10. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Thank you. My goodness. Very exhaustive presentations. Very, very, very exhaustive. Thank you. I don't know. No, looks like okay, Auntie Mercy is back. Auntie Mercy, we lost you where you said this pepper and groundnut soup are cousins. Can you hear me? Can you round off so that we take questions and other contributions for this chapter?
Yes, the network keeps pushing me out, and I keep fighting to come back. Today is quite better. Today I can say, maybe as I prayed that this presentation should go on today, God actually answered. I was saying that Coach D once said that after taking the kitchen dash pepper, she ate and called me and said, "Bo, you know what? This pepper and granite soup are cousins." And I was like, Coach D, what do you say? No, have you ever tasted with granite soup? I laughed and I took. Sorry for that. And I had to take it now as an advert. So when we went for an exhibition, when we stand those exhibition stands, your banner tells the people what you are doing. But each time the minister or the governor or the delegate has to come around, you have to do a bit of advertisement. So when they came and I told them that, you see this pepper and granite soup are cousins. And I mean, pepper, granite soup cousins, I said, yes, just get one. When you go back home, prepare your granite soup and then put the pepper and you see their relationship. And with that, I was saying that the arts we make for our goods should actually be those arts that would attract people to what we are saying or what we are doing. If I should say I am a coach like Coach D, and I'm coaching as per the biblical aspect says, I should be able to advertise myself towards that direction. And I went on to say I even added people who already are in the field and are doing well. I realized then that I could add my own ads, my own adverts to the symbols I had for my pepper. And you could see me now telling people that the dash I have there stands for dashing, the A for the aroma, the S for the seasoning, and the H for the hot and spicy nature of the liquid pepper. So you hear me saying that this pepper, this dash I'm giving you, has a dashing aroma and a seasoning hot and spicy taste. So what we say, we do, and what we do should reflect what we say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Auntie Mercy. 2 sentences in authenticity, which is the word that governed my mind as I read this chapter, authenticity in communication.
Yes.
Thank you, Auntie Mercy. It was really, really exhausting. It's one of those times when I don't know what to say, or I feel like you have said it all yet, because knowledge is wide and vast and increases by the day. I'm confident that there are people, or there are a few people, who have something to add. And while we get ready and raise our hands in the chat box or get ready to turn on our mics, I would say that one of my big takeaways is that people with a clear why communicate it easily. People with a clear why, they do it with intentionality and they're strategic. When your why is clear, it is easy to relate with the people who have done it before. And so one of the strategies to make it work or to drive your why across towards us is identify with those who have done it before. The writer, however, brings a balance in this, which will not, I will not want to delve into. I would stand at the point where You identify with those who have done it before, like Martin Luther King Jr., where he made his address, his famous address, in front of the Abraham Lincoln statue. It was such that already coming to that place where the location of the statue was already a message in itself. It already drove his why home. So everybody going there already knew the spirit to expect. And permit me use spirit. They already knew the spirit, the kind of spirit to expect when they get to that place. He had been speaking peace, non-violence. He had been speaking all of that. But that location, that day, at that time in American history was very strategic. What does this mean to us as people? When you sometimes to get your why or to communicate your why effectively, you don't need to struggle too much. No one is really struggling to reinvent the wheel. You just align with those who have gone ahead and those who are doing it quite well, those who carry their why or those who carry the spirit of their why in such a way that it's easy. It is easy to tell that this is who they are. Once you identify with those people, it is easy to pass your own why across. In fact, you don't struggle at all to communicate your why when you identify with those who have done it well. We'll also have the example of Apple and Pepsi when they launched an ad. There are people with likewise. Pepsi, okay. Pepsi seeks their purpose. If you want to talk, someone like Auntie Elfrida will not stand for Pepsi. But they are doing what they're doing and they've been successful, very successful in their industry. And Apple is very successful in their own industry. When these two people come together, it's very easy to make impact. It's very easy to drive their why down people's hearts. And so if you're becoming a coach in Cameroon, or if you're training to become a coach in Cameroon, and your values, and you check your value box without lying to yourself, being very honest, your value box indicates that 80% of it aligns with someone like Coach D. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because already at this point, she's a symbol. Naturally, nobody is saying it outrightly, but she is a symbol in the women's movement, in the drive for a change, or in a drive to elevate women, to get women to where they should be. She stands out as a symbol already. So aligning, my point here in these many words is align with those who have made it, align with those whose why speak of where you're headed. And then it will be easy for you to transmit your own why. Again, thank you, Auntie Mercy. Thank you, Daisy. And thank everyone who is to contribute. Please, can we have contributions? All right. Our coach said, when contributions don't come, it means that a thorough work was done. In my own words, thorough work was done on this chapter. We are very grateful to our presenters for today. I would have one question for you, Auntie Daisy. Are you there? I'm sorry, Auntie Mercy. Are you there, please?
Yes, I'm there.
All right. I think I'm just still wondering how a symbol or how we can get our symbols to communicate our why for us without talking too much, without struggling to explain ourselves.
So please, can you come again? I didn't quite get you because my network was shaky.
Okay. I was saying that I am still a little unclear as to how we can get our symbols to communicate our why without struggling to put it in words.
I said, for you to have a symbol that will be clear, that can message, can talk about your brand, your value, your mission, your personality, you should have icons on them that can be used to represent the abstract ideas. Are you getting me?
Very well.
Yes, you should have icons. You should have things like colors that will evoke emotions or specific messages. And that is where I got to the black color of the Guinness brand. You should have typography, that is letterpress printing, to convey the sense of either modernity that you're talking about, tradition, or playfulness. And that is where I said on your logo, you can use letterpress printing. And I gave an example of wedding cards invitations. Letterpress printing are always used by big companies, people that have been into branding for long, and they want to showcase something. They want to make their impression known. So when you can use letterpress printing, whereby when, for instance, take you want to talk about a traditional wedding, that invitation should carry what? Things like the gong or the traditional chair. That should be your logo, right?
That's
You
right.
are not talking much. You are not talking much, but you are already showcasing what is going to happen. If you
Thank
want
you.
to talk about playful,
Yes, Auntie Mercy.
if you want to make your logo known, if it is a company that deals with, let's say, children's toys, balls, footballs, you can just on that logo, you put a ball and two children running towards that ball. That symbol already tells you that that company deals with toys like balls. You are not talking much. By the symbol, that image is there already. It represents something in the eyes or in the minds of that person that looks at your symbol. Does that make sense?
A lot of sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. This one last example from me about the celery test, just before we close for today. So for a while, for a patch in my life, there's a patch in my life where I was not working administratively, but I was doing so many other things. And it was the period during which I was trying to find my why. It was a period during which I was seeking the face of God on so many things. And during that time, I had a lot of people telling me so many things. It was like the celery test. Everybody had a say. Oh my God. Everybody would tell me one thing or the other during every meeting, family gathering, or there was always a proposal. But by then, I had gotten a glimpse of my why. So none of those things, nothing shook me. The immediate gains, the quick businesses that could turn my life around with huge financial benefits, the quick opportunities that, being a part of my life being in the media or an entertainment industry, quick opportunities that could get me out there and, let me use the term of the season, make me relevant. All of that was so available. People presented so many of those options. But I had already understood my why, and I knew where I was headed. And I stayed true to myself and to my why. And so today, when the people look and see the puzzle, how the puzzle has carefully come together, they understand my why easily without me having to talk. So let me use Simon Sinek's examples. All the biscuits they presented, all the celery. All right, fine. I ended up picking the celery, but all the M&Ms and everything that they presented, they realized that I stuck to celery. and celery and rice milk. And I've been with celery and rice milk. I've been through with celery and rice milk. And that is my identity. They know it. So without me having to struggle, or without me having to convince them to believe me, I picked the side of consistency, staying consistent. Our why sometimes will not bring immediate benefits. It won't. Our why sometimes will not be what our loved ones want to see. But if we stay true to it, they'll align. So we, by our lifestyle, Daisy mentioned, by our lifestyle, we're shaping our identity. We're shaping our why. We're getting followers by being consistent and intentional in all that we do in our lifestyle. And Mercy mentioned Coach D. If she's a pastor today propagating the good news and leading women by the way of God or to the way of God, and all of a sudden we see her acting different, So it is in our lifestyle. It is in the choices we make. Our why is shaped by our lifestyle, our daily choices, how we do what we do, how we carry ourselves around what we do without necessarily saying anything. So thank you again, ladies. If nobody has a contribution to make for this sweet chapter, it will be a good night from Cameroon and a good afternoon to those from the US, and maybe morning or midday greetings to anyone from other parts of the world. We're reminded to pray for our coach, who is presently